Just imagine a secret place, completely cut off from the normal world, where some people are trained from a very young age to become ruthless warriors. Warriors so powerful that a single one of them is equal to 100 men. Something very similar happens in today's story. The story begins in a tattoo shop where an old man is tattooing a gangster's shoulder. Suddenly, one of the gangster's men hands him an envelope from which a black thread slips out. The gangsters don't understand what it means, but the moment the old man sees it, he freezes in place. It is said that a black thread means the world's most dangerous ninjas are coming. Many years ago, he had faced these warriors before, and he knows just how deadly they are. He then shows an old wound on his chest. In fact, this old man's heart is on the right side, which is the only reason he survived an attack by those ninjas. Suddenly, a man's head is severed from his body, spreading terror everywhere. Then a wire drops from the ceiling and pulls the man upward. When the body comes back down, it is torn into pieces. These ninjas always fight while hiding in the darkness, and within moments they turn the place into rivers of blood. After killing everyone, the ninjas finally step out of the shadows. After that, we are told the story of Japan's Ozan clan, a generation of ruthless ninjas led by Lord Ozan. They gather children from all over the world and after intense training, turn them into ninjas. All powerful people in the world know about these ninjas, but the general public has no idea they exist. Anyone can hire them to kill someone in exchange for 100 kilograms of gold. Both generations have been working in the shadows for centuries. It is even said that the deaths of the Russian president and the Japanese prime minister were carried out by them. One day, a child is brought there after his parents abandon him. Ozan takes the child with him, believing deep down that this boy will one day become the leader of the clan. Because of this, the child is given extremely harsh training. By the age of 10, his body is covered in wounds, punishments for his mistakes. According to them, a ninja must always remain silent and hidden. Raizo is made to walk on wooden floors, and if even the slightest sound is heard, Ozan strikes his legs brutally. At night, he cannot sleep due to the pain. That's when a girl named Kiri comes and applies medicine to his wounds. She too is undergoing ninja training. Everyone there is taught to throw away all emotions, but Kiri is different. She believes killing people is absolutely wrong. As time passes and Raizo grows older, the two rarely talk and only watch each other from a distance. Raizo becomes the most skilled ninja of the Ozan clan, but when he faces his senior, Takeshi, he loses because Takeshi attacks him deceitfully. Instead of protecting Raizo, Ozan insults him and calls him weak. Takeshi violently stabs Raizo in the stomach with his fingers, and he screams in pain. The next morning, Ozan sees that Raizo is once again ready for training. Seeing his determination, Ozan is pleased. Soon, Raizo defeats all his opponents effortlessly, even with his eyes closed. However, Kiri still dislikes the violence there. Raizo often tells her that if Ozan finds out, he'll rip someone's heart out. Kiri replies that he can't take her heart because it already belongs to Raizo. One day, Kiri is given a task to kill someone with a knife. When she fails to do it, Ozan slashes her face with the knife and throws her into a cage. At night, Raizo secretly came to see her and gave her water. A few days later, one night, Kiri tried to climb the wall and escape. She asked Raizo to come with her, but Raizo remained loyal to Lord Ozan. In the end, Kiri was caught, and her punishment was death. Takeshi killed her in front of everyone by striking her heart. That day, something inside Raizo died as well, yet he continued to stay loyal to Ozan. A few years later, in Berlin, a girl named Mika found some evidence proving the existence of the ninjas. She took this evidence to her boss, Maslow, but he refused to believe that such ninjas existed, ninjas known only to powerful people. Mika then showed him proof that the movement of powerful people's money and the deaths of several world leaders were connected to the ninjas. Maslow decided to investigate further and discovered that a spy named Sabaton had also collected similar evidence. However, Sabaton was soon fired, and later someone murdered him. Meanwhile, Rizzo was also in Berlin on a special mission. He was living alone in an abandoned house and trained intensely every morning. One day, he went to a laundromat where he noticed a woman. The moment he saw her, Rizzo realized she was a ninja. Instantly, they attacked each other, and a brutal fight broke out. After some time, we see Rizzo stuffing the woman into a washing machine and leaving. On the other side, Mika went to meet the spy's wife, whose husband had been killed for finding evidence against the ninjas. The woman explained that although her husband was very brave, after that incident, he became extremely fearful. He locked every door and window with at least 2 locks and kept the lights on in every corner of the house, leaving no place for shadows where ninja could hide. But on the night they came, the lights started turning off by themselves. The next day, an officer came to Mika's office, warning her that she was thinking too much about things outside her job. That night, Mika carefully returned home, but the entire street was without power. She still entered her house, and at that moment, a ninja attacked her. The surprising part was that another ninja saved her life and killed all the attackers. That ninja was none other than Rizzo. Earlier, we had seen Rizzo on a mission, unleashing all his rage and brutally killing a man. After that mission, Rizzo went to the rooftop to meet the other ninjas. Lord Ozan said he was proud of him, but suddenly Rizzo attacked Ozan and injured his eye and face. Because he attacked the leader, the other ninjas severely wounded Rizzo and threw him off the roof. Fortunately, Rizzo fell into the water and survived. From that day on, Rizzo began working against the ninjas and sabotaging their missions. That is why he saved Mika's life. Afterward, the two went to a hotel and changed their clothes, because ninjas have an extraordinary sense of hearing that allows them to track humans easily. Then, Maslow told Mika that he was on Rizzo's side, but at the same time, he had received official orders to arrest him. He knew Rizzo was not an enemy, but he could not disobey orders. So when Maslow went to meet Mika and Rizzo, the police arrested Rizzo. He was taken to a remote prison and chained up. When Mika found out that Maslow was involved in this, she went to confront him. However, Maslow firmly refused to release Rizzo, believing that prison was the only place where Rizzo could be safe from the ninjas. That night, Mika went to Rizzo and gave him water. But Rizzo warned her that the ninjas could arrive at any moment. Mika also tried to warn Maslow, but it was already too late. Suddenly, the lights went out, and the ninjas emerged from the darkness. In front of these deadly warriors, even a brave army of soldiers and their weapons proved useless. At that moment, someone unlocked Rizzo's chains and set him free. He began fighting the ninjas and told Mika to run away. Although Rizzo was the finest ninja of the Ozan clan, facing so many ninjas at once was overwhelming even for him. Eventually, Rizzo and Takeshi fought their way out onto the street. Takeshi was about to finish Rizzo with his sword when Mika struck Takeshi from behind with her car. She then took Rizzo to a hotel. Although Rizzo was badly wounded, he refused to see a doctor. Mika stayed beside him while he lay unconscious. The man whose life Rizzo had saved thanked him and then revealed a tracking device that would allow Maslow to locate them. However, before the police could arrive, the ninjas appeared and abducted Rizzo. When the police arrived, only Mika was there, and she told them that the ninjas had taken Rizzo just 10 minutes earlier. Meanwhile, Rizzo was brought before Lord Ozan. Ozan gave him one last chance to apologize, but Rizzo refused, saying he would never bow. Ozan's anger reached its peak, especially because just a few years earlier, he had believed that this boy would one day become the leader of the entire clan. Ozan made Rizzo stand in the same place where Kiri once stood, and struck him several times with deadly finger blows. Normally, a single strike from Ozan would kill a man, but Rizzo only vomited blood. At the same time, the tracking device fell out. At that very moment, Mika stormed in with the full force of the police, throwing the place into chaos. Several ninjas were killed in explosions, and many people on both sides lost their lives in the bloody battle. Rizzo was then surrounded by Takeshi and his men, but he fought them off one by one, defeating them all. Finally, Takeshi and Raizo faced each other directly and unleashed all their strength. In the end, Raizo emerged victorious and cut off part of Takeshi's body. Now it was Ozan's turn. Raizo saw him sitting calmly in a room while massive explosions shook the building outside. Suddenly, Ozan vanished into thin air and appeared from the darkness behind Raizo. With a single blow, he sent Raizo flying through the air. Both of them drew their swords, thirsting for each other's blood. Ozan once again offered Raizo a chance to apologize, claiming that he was like Raizo's father, the one who brought him there and raised him from childhood. But Raizo replied that he was no one's son, and that he would take his first breath of freedom only after destroying Ozan. Raizo lunged at him, but Ozan disappeared once more. At that moment, Mika rushed in to help. Seizing the opportunity, Ozan stabbed Mika from behind, driving his sword straight through her chest. Seeing this, Raizo remembered how these monsters had killed his childhood love, Kiri. Overcome with rage, Raizo struck Ozan with a single powerful blow, slicing him into 3 pieces. Raizo carried Mika outside, where doctors examined her and discovered that her heart was on the right side of her chest, meaning she would survive. In the end, Raizo destroyed the academy walls and did exactly what Kiri had always wished for. Carrying her love in his heart, he walked away from that place forever. Have you ever loved someone with all your heart? And if you have, did your love find its happy ending? Tell us in the comments.